One of the more notable NASCAR drivers to have lost his life too soon was Adam Petty. Adam Petty was a fourth-generation driver to the Petty family. He was the son of Kyle Petty and was the grandson of Richard Petty. Adam Petty would begin his career driving full-time in ASA in 1998 at just the age of 17. Here he is driving against seven-time champ Jimmy Johnson in the 44 car. I find it really impressive that he's still able to run somewhat consistent lap times while his hood is covering all of his windshield. His ASA stats are this: 1 win, 3 top 5s, 7 top 10s, 2 poles, and an average finish of 13.8, and would finish 14th in the standings that season. Not only did he run in ASA, but he would make 2 ARCA Series starts that season, and just like his father did at Daytona in 1979, he would go on to win in his ARCA Series debut at Charlotte.
Gives way. Glenn Morgan now, the inside of the leaders.
I think he's going to win this thing.
Final corner. Here he comes. Wallace with a last turn charge up to the outside. Final turn to the stripe. He'll not do it. Adam Petty will win the Easy Care 100 at Charlotte. Tremendous victory for the 18-year-old youngster. His first super speedway start in the ARCA Series. He will score the victory. Hand out the window, pumping his fist. The crowd on their feet, cheering him on. Adam Petty, the winner tonight. A spectacular story here at Charlotte.
I'll tell you what, this means more to me than anything. You know, I lost my crew chief a couple weeks ago.
Buddy, I'm so sorry.
Patty Petty coming in.
I lost my crew chief a couple weeks ago, and it's been a rough couple weeks, but I'll tell you what, the good Lord's been with me. This is awesome. This is my dream. It's been my dream since a little kid to come here and race. Come to anywhere race where my dad's raced before and prove himself. I'll tell you what, I feel like crying. This is awesome.
Talk about that race car tonight. That was an excellent race car. You did a great job.
Yeah, it was with me all night. It just got a little tight when people would get around me. Mike Wallace, he run good. He gave me a heck of a run. And I'll tell you what, when he get behind me, it would worry me because my car would get tight down 3 and 4. I could beat him down there, but down to 3 and 4, he would beat me. But thanks for racing me clean, and I'll tell you what, this is...
Were you nervous when he was behind?
I got a little nervous. He's been here a while. He's a Wallace, isn't he? Your brother works for one. But I'll tell you, it's been an unreal deal. And I'll tell you what, we had a little problem in practice. Backed in the wall a little bit, but...
So obviously, Richard Petty saw potential in his own grandson, because then he would later move up to the NASCAR Busch Series full-time for the 1999 season. The plan was this: they were going to race Adam Petty full-time in the NASCAR Busch Series from 1999 to 2000, and then they were going to eventually move him up to the Winston Cup Series in 2001. But his 1999 season was pretty up and down, to say the least. In 1999, his stats are this: 0 wins, 3 top 5s, 4 top 10s, an average finish of 26.3, and would finish 20th in the standings. His best finish was 4th at Fontana that season. You have to remember that Adam Petty is only 18 years old and is driving for his family-owned team, Petty Enterprises. He is not going to win races out of the gate. He would also run in 2 Truck Series races that season, scoring a 10th place finish at Richmond in the 34 ride. So heading into the 2000 season, everything was going to plan. Adam Petty would run one more full-time season before moving up to Cup Series in 2001. And the announcement that Dodge would be returning to the sport before the start of his rookie season was also exciting, so you knew Petty was going to switch over there. And Adam Petty would go on to make his first career Winston Cup start at Texas in 2000. But just less than a month later, tragedy would strike. During a practice session at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, Petty's throttle stuck wide open at turn 3, causing the car to hit the outside wall virtually head-on. Petty was killed instantly when he suffered a base air skull fracture. He was only 19 years old. If you ever want to try and find footage of the wreck, you're not going to find it. Back in the day, practices weren't always televised, and thankfully this one wasn't. This is a real shame because it's really begged the question what Adam Petty's career would have been like had he lived. And I just gotta keep it real here. I've heard all the time that had Adam Petty lived, Petty Enterprises would have returned to its former glory. They would have won so many races and so many championships. Look, Adam Petty definitely had potential. I mean, you could see it. I mean, he won his ARCA debut and he was showing flashes of that in the Busch Series. But to just sit there and say that Adam Petty was going to immediately be the savior and really turn around the team is absolutely ludicrous. Now, Adam Petty, had he lived, he would have struggled in the Cup Series at first. I mean, Petty Enterprises was a struggling team. Now, it's not to say that he wouldn't turn it around eventually, because I think he would. I personally think he probably would have raced with Petty Enterprises all the way up until 2006, maybe 2007. Then after that, he would probably have tried to find a competitive team, a more competitive team, like maybe a driving for Hendrick or Roush or some competitive team that would take him. And don't try and say that a competitive team wouldn't take him, because I'm absolutely convinced that if he had hit the free agent market, if he was alive, either Hendrick or Roush or some competitive team like that would take him. I mean, his last name is Petty, for God's sakes. A team would take a chance on him. I mean, at the time, he wasn't the best driver, but he certainly wasn't the worst driver either. He was somewhere in between, and he was still developing. I mean, he was only 19 when he passed. I mean, there was just so much potential here that unfortunately was not fulfilled. Just 5 months after Adam Petty's death, his family partnered with Paul Newman to help start the Victory Junction Gang Camp. This is something that Adam Petty wanted to do. He was a very generous guy. He was very charitable. This is something he wanted to do when he was alive. And after his death, his family decided this would be his legacy. The camp has received support from many NASCAR drivers, teams, and sponsors. And the camp would be complete in 2003 and would begin operation in 2004 and is an official charity of NASCAR. Adam Petty is still remembered by many NASCAR fans today, and his charity is still alive and well. It is a tribute to him. Adam Petty was only 19 years old. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Black Flags Matter. Catch you next time.